Let's move on to consent.
All items on the consent calendar are considered routine or implement an earlier council action and may be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion unless requested.
So I know there are 3 items to have comments on, but not separate action. Right, F and G, right? F and G, and then I. Are there any other items that want to be pulled or want to be just commented on?
I'd like to, Mr. Mayor?
Yeah.
I'd like to pull item K.
For a separate vote?
Yes, please.
Okay. All right, and why don't we go ahead? We have F, G, and I. K we will take separate. Bless you. On G, it's a resolution accepting the Crystal Springs Road Sewer Replacement Project as complete, authorizing the filing of notice of completion with the San Mateo County Recorder's Office, and authorizing release of the construction contract retention in the amount of $162,028.49. And I think on these next 2 items, it was just a matter of staff to give a little more insight as to the project's completion, as well as it came under budget. And so if we can have staff.
Sure. Javon Grogan, City Manager. I'll have Jimmy Tan, our Public Works Director, give that presentation.
Thank you. Mr. Tan, Director.
Hi, good evening, Honorable Mayor, members of the City Council. So you mentioned, is it item G or F that you would like
There's going to be F and G,
okay,
but we're on F for right now.
Sure. So for item F, this is related to the Arbor Court Pressure Regulating Valve Replacement Project. This is a regulating project. A regulating station is something that we use to reduce high water pressure to low water pressure, so that we can distribute normal pressure to the houses. We came to council back in December 2018 to award the construction contract to Casey Construction, and for a budget of $369,000. And we completed the project, substantially completed in August of 2019, and the total change orders amount was close to about $21,000 in that project. We came under budget, as noted in the staff report, for, let's see here, about $26,900 will be returned back to the Water Enterprise Fund. And this project also wanted to mention that we designed it in-house as well, because it's something that we can easily do, and we did manage the construction management and inspection in-house as well. So we saved more money on this project.
And I'm sorry, I threw you off by reading G, and so item F was the resolution accepting the Arbor Court Pressure Regulating Valve Replacement Project as complete, authorizing the filing of notice of completion with the San Mateo County Recorder's Office, and authorizing release of the construction contract retention in the amount of $19,498.
Correct.
498. So we have the F and G. Marty, did you want to say any additional on that?
It's just one of those things where I think it's really important for the public to help understand that when we put projects in our sewer and water system to improve our infrastructure, it costs money. And this is a case where I think our staff definitely should take some bigger credit, and I think just having it on consent doesn't share with the public, because I don't think too many people are reading through our agenda packet. So thank you very much, and that goes for the next project, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Item I, thank you, Director Tan, was accept a resignation from Traffic and Safety Parking Committee member effective October 3rd, 2019, and direct the city clerk to post a notice of vacancy in accordance with state law. So for those... No. Oh, gosh, L. God, I'm not... You guys, I need your help here more tonight, or my glasses. That's L, as in Larry.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Could we go back to G? I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry.
Because G's a big project. G is a $3.7 million project that came $760,000 under budget. So.
Thank you, Marty.
Thank you.
No.
Thank you. Good evening again. Regards to the Crystal Springs Sewer Road Replacement Project, this project consisted of replacing about 3,000 feet of sewer main pipelines from 8 to 24 inches in diameter, which started at the intersection of Oak and Crystal Springs Road all the way to San Mateo Avenue and El Camino. So it was really challenging. We had a lot of utilities to cross along El Camino, but we were able to complete this work under budget. The original contract with KJ Woods Construction was in the amount of $3.3 million, and we also had a contingency of about $502,000 on this project. But we were able to work with the contractor on various issues related to the project, as well as there's some scope changes that were done, out in the field in order to get the pipeline installed. So we came in budget for this. We didn't have to use a contingency on this project. We have about $761,000, about $500 left over, which will be returned back to the wastewater enterprise fund. So this is it's one of those projects that needed to be completed, cost money, but we were able to make sure that we came in a budget on this.
Thank you, Director Tan, on both those, and Marty, thank you for having those acknowledged, because I think it's important for us and the staff. And then I know Michael, Laura have comments.
Okay, through the chair, I just wanted to, I couldn't resist adding on that none of these repairs could have been done without the fee increases that we reluctantly imposed. And as much as we regretted having to do that, clearly there is a benefit to doing it, and clearly we're accomplishing important work that was absolutely required, and the only way we could have done it was through those fee increases. So I just wanted to mention that.
Laura.
Excellent point, Councilmember Salazar. But I just want to kind of, from a council member, to acknowledge that that was a complicated project in a very busy neighborhood, a lot of traffic, schools, and I just want to thank you for adjusting start times to accommodate the additional traffic and the need. And it just seemed, I live in the area, I go by that a lot, it just seemed to be a pretty smooth project. And so I want to thank the staff and for a job well done.
Thank you.
If you convey that to the team, as well as I did hear the communication to the neighboring schools, as well as to the residents, was well done, and it kept them on track and updated as to the progress of the project.
Thank you.
Crystal Springs Road. Okay, now we're going to move on to L. Thank you, Jimmy. That was, again, I'm going to reread it. Accept the resignation from the Traffic and Safety Parking Committee member effective October 3rd this year, and direct the clerk to post notice of vacancies in accordance with state law. So John was on the TSPC, Traffic Safety Parking Committee, from before, and needed to step aside, but yet came back with his knowledge and wisdom and experience, which Tom will attest to, and has helped us out, and has a great opportunity in his life. I reached out to him and called him on behalf of all of us to thank him for his generosity in his time, and that all that he gives to this community. He doesn't just do it on the TSPC. There's a lot of other things that he does for various service groups and for the community, and you could always count on him. No matter what, he would be there. And if you needed food and you needed barbecue and you needed this, you needed that, John would handle it. So we just are pulling this to acknowledge him, thank him, wish him the best in his future, and he reminded me that he'll still be around. So he's not out of our lives, and you will see him in San Bruno again. So why don't we go ahead with a motion to pass everything with the exception of K.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to approve all items but K. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? 5-vote voice. Now we're going to move on to K. Adopt a resolution waiving the encroachment permit fees, staff labor reimbursement fees, and insurance rider premium costs for the encroachment permit application for the Halloween road closure on Park Avenue, and appropriating $412 from the general fund. Marty.
Okay. Let me first start by saying that I'm in full support of having this event occur and waiving the fees. I've been going to that location for the last couple of years, and it's fantastic. Having the street closed and where you can walk with your young child and feel safer that you could cross the street and not worry about incoming traffic. And that neighborhood does an incredible job to really liven up the Halloween spirits. I can leave it at that. The reason why I'm pulling it is to understand for other organizations that are interested in how the fee waiver process works. How can a neighborhood or organization, when they come up to wanting to do an event that would cost money, how does it work to where they could say, hey, we would like the city to waive the fees? So I just want to make it clear, I'm in total support of this, but I wanted to have the public to understand and myself to understand, how does one get their fees waived if they have a fantastic project or idea?
Is that something staff is prepared to discuss?
Sure. So, discussing the full fee schedule and the waiver process, we won't go into that, but what is germane is why this is before the city council. So this is before the city council because our fee schedule process does not have a waiver provision that grants the city manager or department heads the ability to waive city fees outside of an operational issue or something that the city manager is addressing. And so this is a request of a neighborhood to have a community event. And so the process for that right now is to make a formal request of the governing body, and so yourself, to waive city fees and requirements. And so that is why this item is before you today. When we take a look at our fee schedule in early 2020, we can talk about a formal process. A number of cities that I'm familiar with through their annual budgeting process go through and say what programs or neighborhood events the city will subsidize and approve that through the budget process. And so if it's done through the budget process, it does not have to come on a one-off basis. But aside from having that, this one came up, and we did want to formally bring it to the governing body for your support.
Good. I'm good with it. I mean, it's a great event if you guys can make it. It's fantastic.
And I would say, just to go into the history, that this started a few years ago because some folks in the neighborhood, because the streetlights were out, they were worried about the safety of the young people and vehicles. So that's how it started. It wasn't just to cordon off a street. It was done strategically to try to protect the youth that came up in Strohs, but there were no streetlights. So as a safety element, then therefore that's how it established back then. Then after, obviously, a period of time, streetlights were working. So it has come forward to the neighborhood still wishing that, which is placed on one or two persons to go around and get everybody's approval, everybody's signature within the neighborhood. Make sure everybody's on the same page, because it means you don't get in, you don't get out of your house. So there are many steps that have to be taken, but that's why this is before us today. But I wanted to give a little history as to how it started as well. So, but thank you. Okay, any action on?
Can I make
Please, Laura.
Hi. I just want to say that I think that there's a few events that happen in San Bruno that are neighborhood events that I think are really positive, and I'd like to see them continue. I think this is a really positive event, and I know that kids from outside that neighborhood come to that area to block off. Glenview in the Parkview area is another area that gets blocked off for the Santa Claus, and those are, I think, really uplifting. We don't have a lot of community events throughout the year, so I think it's a safety thing, and I like to just see that the residents know about it, know the address. If maybe we can publicly tonight just state what the address is that's being cordoned off, so that residents who are listening tonight and they've got little kids and they want to bring them to that particular area, that they feel safe and they can walk through the neighborhoods, and that it's a great event, and a lot of doors that do open. So you get a lot of doors for your walking.
And quality candy. I'm just saying, but you may want to let the neighborhood know more are coming.
Move to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I have 5-0 voice approval.